It is the robin in your yard that will teach you bird language. It is the song sparrow. You know, it's the ones that you see every day that you have the greatest hope of deciphering the intricacies of their language. They call you to the moment. They call you to the present, and that's the only way you learn bird language. If you think about stuff, you miss it. Bird language is now. It's always now. And it's very potent medicine.
What is the song sparrow saying perched on that branch? And what does he know that I don't? Bird language is the art and science of interpreting the language of nature. This 2-disc instructional DVD is 2 years in the making and is in its home stretch. We're seeking an extra $6,000 to help pay for motion graphics, music, closed captions, and the first printing of the DVD. The first disc details the basics you need to start learning bird language, the 5 voices of the birds, the 12 shapes of alarm, and the 5 best bird language birds and their behaviors. The sentinel that you will see in this following excerpt is one of the 12 shapes of alarm covered in the first disc.
One of the most common alarms there is not perceived at all as an alarm. The average beginner in bird language, typically over the last 25 years of teaching people this, has interpreted the sentinel behavior to be a bird at rest and a sign that everything's okay. And I think the reason people do that is because they see so much of it in the landscape. You know, you're always seeing birds in sentinel. If you see birds all facing the same direction on the telephone wire, you know, you might think, oh, well, they're always sitting up there on the telephone wire, they're resting. But it isn't always the case. A lot of times you'll see robins, you know, feeding on the ground, and they'll make a little nervous sound, and they'll fly up on an angle and land on top of a tree and look away from the direction that they just came from. So it's like they're going to a high point to see what's in the distance. That's a very, very common behavior. And sometimes they'll sit there and not move for a long time. And that's why people would think, okay, well, they're resting. What they're actually doing is they're looking in the distance and listening in the distance to try and get a bead on where that hawk is that they're aware of because they heard a distant alarm call. And so they're just looking into the distance.
The best way to learn bird language is with a group of people spread throughout a landscape. The second disc covers bird language groups, how to choose a site, how to conduct a bird sit, how to map your sit and mapping conventions, how to best debrief your sit and map to pull the stories out of the landscape, and some special features. The DVD also comes with a helpful laminated field card that covers the shapes of alarm, mapping conventions, and other useful bird language tips. Thanks for your time, and have a look below to see how you can help support our project.